Hydrate power. You're in the dog zone for an hour. Come on. You know the number. 1-900 hot dog. 1-900 hot dog. 1-900 hot dog. Yeah, 9,000.
The official podcast of 1-900-HOT-DOG, America's last comedy website. We're going to be talking about the role-playing game RIFTS today. So I did something a little different, and I spent 16 hours rolling us some actual RIFTS characters.
No.
Oh, hell yeah. Give me that glitter boy.
I'm so sorry.
I, of course, am Robert Brockway, and today I'll be playing a husky, illegitimate, worrywart pack of dogs from a little farm community. That's my character. That's an actual RIFTS character.
Is that from Riffs, Russia?
My comedy partner, Sean Bavey, he's already said it. He is playing a pot-bellied miscreant glitter boy from a small to medium city with no body hair and an oddly shaped head who is basically nice.
A lot of those words do describe me. I still have one ab left, so maybe not pot-bellied. I used to use Glitter Boy as like my username in online games because I thought Riffs was a very funny game, like Merritt did. And that meant that about every hour I would just get a message from someone saying like homophobic slurs at me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Riffs fans. That's so much better.
No.
It's so much.
I literally never met someone who knew that was a reference to Riffs, but so many people called me. I don't know. Add like a funny beep there, Jamie, and let people fill in the blanks. But just all manner of terrible things.
And our guest today is Merritt K, who brought Riffs as her hot dog origin story. She will be playing an obese, complaining rogue scholar from the burbs with large, flat teeth and a large mouth, too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I have 2d6 years to live in real life because of the drug harness that's enhancing my agility and reaction time.
I hope your large, flat teeth come in handy sometime during the game of
Am I
Riffs.
playing a beaver? Am I a beaver DB?
And a large mouth, too. I don't know, because I don't know. I've read in pretty much the entire source book. I've skimmed a lot of it, but I still don't know what Riffs is. But before we get into that, Merritt, is there anything you want to plug today?
Our game, Fledgling Manor, is on sale right now. I think it should be on sale when you hear this. If not, then whoops. No, it's on sale for like a few weeks, for like most of September, I think. So you can get that. It's like 50% off. And it's on Steam. And also I do a weekly podcast now with two of my friends from Fanbyte, which is a video game website I used to work at when that was a job that you could have. And it's mostly just us torturing each other with stupid bullshit. And it's called If You're Driving, Close Your Eyes. It's on Xbox, I think. So
that's where I play
it. And your book.
Oh, the book. Yeah. Did I not plug that last time?
I don't know, but you're plugging it this time.
Okay. God damn it. Yeah. So I put a little novella out called Vampirocene. It's about climate change and vampires and drugs, I guess. There's drugs in it. It's cool. It's pretty cool. It's like $3. And, what's that going to get you in this economy, right? Besides a novella. And it's short too, which I think is good because everything is taking too much time and there's too many things to look at and play and see and read. And 100 pages, you can get through that in like what?
I get why you say that, since we are talking about Riffs and that's like front of your mind. It's like, this is too much.
10,000 pages of tables.
But my only complaint, I really liked Vampirocene. My only complaint was that I wish there was more. I wish you were turning this into a novel or just doing like a series. You should do a series of novels.
You gotta leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
That's showbiz, baby.
Well, I do want more, so give me more.
Well, no. Because that's my thing. That's my thing.
See, that's not show business, babe.
No. That's just for me. That's my thing where people are frustrated that I won't give them more. And then I enjoy that in a way that is, let me roll on this table. Oh, extremely sexual. Oh, fuck.
All right, Sean, what would you like to plug today?
I rolled teeth. Merritt used all the plug time, so I'll just plug RIFTS for the Nokia N-Gage. It's kind of like a phone and a taco.
All right. Well, see, I'm in a bit of a pickle here. I asked my AI lawyer to comb the internet for fringe law tactics. It told me to drink poison. That's a little inside joke we have. But then it told me something a little bit incredible. Because my publisher uses a publisher's flag with yellow fringe, they actually only have authority over books published at sea. And that makes me, I'm something called a sovereign author, and that means I don't have to plug my fucking book today. What's it called? Suck My Dick. When's it come out? Right after your mom's done. We're back, baby. We're back.
Author named Robert, capital R, capital O, capital B, capital E, capital R, capital T.
I love this like just third act twist of just going back to obstinate, just refusal to.
My fucking AI lawyer rules. I was so sick of plugging things and begging. Like, I want to have some human dignity, and I'm back. I'm back to having that. I'm never going to plug this book again, so long as my AI lawyer remains correct. Come at me, lawyers. I am unsuable on land. If I ever go out to sea, I'm fucking fucked, but I'm not going to do that. You're not tricking me out to sea again.
It says here in the Treaty of 1704, you're entitled to 8% of all the world's wealth retrieved from shipwrecks? That's kind of interesting.
Well, fuck yeah, that's another bonus. Do you have an AI lawyer too? They're the best. They're free for some reason.
Huh.
Everybody should have one. Well, before any sort of consequences can catch up to me for, Jesus, just anything, we're gonna talk about RIFTS. That's our hot dog origin story series. Merritt, you said RIFTS was at least partially responsible for tuning you into sort of bizarre cursed media that should not be. When did you find it?
I must have been like 10 or 11, I think.
Oh, that's too young for RIFTS.
Much too young. Yeah. No, I mean, just even for like the math alone, it's, you're not prepared for that. The school system hasn't set you up for that. But yeah, so we had like, one of my friends had an older brother who was into a lot of stuff that, yeah, I don't know. Like, did you know anyone growing up where they had like an older sibling and seemed like insanely cool, like the coolest person you'd ever met or would meet because they had posters of Nirvana in their bedroom or something?
Yes, that was my brother. My brother had
sweet. Okay,
it was hair metal instead of Nirvana.
Yeah.
But
so I'm the older sibling, so I didn't get that in my family, so I had to seek that outside of the house. And so this guy got us into playing. I think the first RPG I played, it was RIFTS, but before that, my friends had played the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG,
right.
Which was
basically
by
the same
Palladium.
system.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
this was the cool brother?
Yeah.
That doesn't check out.
I mean, I was 10 and it was the mid 90s. So,
The Ninja Turtle system had like the greatest character creator of all time. Like you'd roll up like what animal you were, or like you get like kangaroo, and then like an almost childlike understanding of kangaroos would come in and adapt that into role playing. So be like, okay, so your kangaroos, you got jump powers and punch powers, and your pouch lets you carry 6 extra items. And it's just like, yeah, those are the aspects of kangaroo adapted into game. I love it.
I think that did come out before RIFTS. So RIFTS sometime, I think it's like 1990. So I would have played this a few years after it came out. And this was my first role-playing game experience. I never played D&D. I remember seeing ads for like the Street Fighter game in GamePro and stuff, and being like, what is this? Like, I don't understand what they're saying. Like, oh, the only limit is your imagination. And I was like, I don't understand like what system is it on? And I got into RIFTS, and this was all I knew of role-playing games for like a long time. As a child encountering this in the 90s, it was like, okay, this kicks ass. Like, there's art in here that's extremely cool. There's like just wild, weird shit. And then also like page like 20 is, okay, here's how to do combat with giant robots. Like it's laid out in an insane way. There's rules for insanity, like just random insanities that you can get. There's like 10,000 skills and they all have their own percentile that increases like by a very small percent every time you level up. There's like, it's just complete nonsense. And it was like, I think it was like the first time, then this is something that's come up in this series before, is like the first time that I realized like, oh, this was made by a guy, and he was completely out of his mind.
Yep.
Like, he was a total maniac, but it was made by him, and I'm holding it now. It's not just like appearing out of the ether.
This is so cursed. I don't know a good way to talk about it. Like, my notes, this is the most scattered my notes have ever been, because the layout of this source book is totally broken and insane. Like, it, as you mentioned, it kind of has everything you could ever possibly think of, but also not nearly enough. Like, the things that it omits are just as important as the things that it has. Like, for example, I did find a picture of me on page 79, and I found Sean Baby in the supplemental art you included. So, like, we're in here.
I think I know exactly which pictures you're talking about.
Yeah, you're the rogue scholar. I holy shit.
Yeah, we're in here. We're in this book.
And Sean's
it's a never-ending story.
The juicer hitting a guy in the face, right?
Yeah, I got my look from that. The first time I saw that, I'm like, this is what I'm going to look like for the rest of my life. I think what happened, something worth mentioning is that in the old system of this role-playing game, they used a thing called SDC, which was basically like hit points that they used for everything. And they made RIFTS. They're like, oh, these things are like giant robots and superheroes. So like they would have like 10,000 hit points. And they're like, this guy, who is very much a guy, was just like, no, that's fucking stupid. What if we just built on the ruins of this old system with this new system so they had mega damage? And that each one of those was like 100 standard damage. And what it meant was that like these beings existed in a world where like most stuff was just sort of squishy goo, including most of them, unless they had like a special mega damage hat or gun or whatever. And so it really is like a baby child trying to make sense of how Superman and Batman can exist in the same world. And like to put numbers on that is obviously an absurd thing to do. They're comic books. It's magic. Don't think about it. My understanding of Dungeons and Dragons, for instance, was that like these hit points aren't exactly like the like number of like the amount of times you can sit under a drill, right? Like this is supposed to represent like dudes kind of getting out of the way of shit because they're really good at sword fighting.
Right.
But like this game is very much like, no. This is how many lasers you can take to the face.
0. The answer is always 0.
I've always thought of it as how much blood you have. It's just a proportion of all the blood. Like I have 128 blood right now, and if you punch me, I'm going to lose one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like a good point in RIFTS. So the whole setup, just to like give I wrote about it for the site like last year, but the basic primer is like, it was created by this guy, Kevin Siembieda, who had previously done a fantasy role-playing game just called Palladium Fantasy RPG and the Ninja Turtles thing, and basically just like took the same system and added mega damage to it. And it's set like in a post-apocalypse where nuclear war killed everyone. And then because so many people died at once, it like brought magic back basically and opened up holes in time, and aliens came out. And so it's just like, what if you just had everything?
Everything.
Like, just what if everything was in this? Like, that was the entire point of this game. And the mega damage thing is like, yeah, like if you're if you're a human character, or like if you're anything but like a dragon or like an ogre or something crazy, the smallest laser in the game will instantly kill you. So you have to be wearing your like fucking future knight armor at all times.
Which is, it's probably fused to you, right? That's probably one of the character classes.
I mean, you can be a Borg, you can be a cyborg for sure.
Yeah, they built an arms race into the mechanics of the game, and they had there was no like, it's war games. They're like, no, the only solution is to not play this game. Otherwise, it's just going to keep escalating forever.
What resonates with me the most is you can really sense like the creative energy, but like not the creative effort. So you can see like this guy thought like, wouldn't it be cool if you could fucking have everything? And then just like put that down on a napkin and said, well, I guess I'm done. That's the final draft there. And so like all the ideas are just really half baked, and the systems are just like, I don't know. It kind of does. None of this matters. So like, I guess if you were like from Chicago, you had like pizza powers and like mafia powers. You know, just what the first things you think of. And so all the books that they made were very much exactly that. Like there's like a RIFTS Russian. It's like, okay, so like you're a farmer with a laser cannon, and like your art is kind of based around sentimentalism, mega damage sentimentalism. You know, it's And I appreciate that as someone who starts and abandons many projects. I can really feel like that, the joy of the first steps of creation and the joy of abandoning it before
Right.
the work gets hard. You're like, yeah.
He did the fun part. He made a book out of
part.
only the fun parts,
Yep.
except for all the stuff that isn't fun.
Yeah, I want to disagree a little bit with that because there are 100 pages of just tiny numbers of math, endless
That's fun
math
to
that
him.
seemingly has no relation
Yes,
to
it's
anything else.
worthless to anyone. But it's fun for him. He
I'm
had a
looking
good
at a
time.
page right now that just is titled Missiles, Ranges, Warheads, Damage.
So in a way, I went through this. All right, so here's like there's like an order to tabletop role playing game books, right? There's some variants, sure, whatever, but like even as a source book, there's sort of a structure, and it goes like introduction, right? Here's the setting, here's the world or your conflict or whatever, like your story seed. Here's a sort of next is like a basic manual on how the game is going to work fundamentally. Like what do you do to like operate a game? And then you've got like your character creator, and then following that is like your skills, your abilities, your spells or whatever. Then you've got your supplemental material, and then like one final section being like, okay, here's how a game goes. Here's something to get you started. It's like, beginning, middle, and end. In this book, in the Rift source book, the character creation process starts on page 8 and goes to page 127. Right? And then and every mad fucking thing you could possibly think of is in there, and you're like, is this still character creation? And then it stops to do a couple of pages on what happened before Rifts. Not what's happening now, but like the time before Rifts.
Sure.
And then an atlas of every single place on Earth, but not really. Like Canada is really, really represented in this. We've got every like district and city in Canada here.
It's because he lived in Detroit.
See, that's another thing. It's astonishing that he was not Canadian. Like, he was almost Canadian, but he ended up not being Canadian, and he was just like, Canada's so fucking important to this world. Africa is the dark continent.
Aren't there 2 Canadian books?
There are 2 Canada books. Yeah, they're at least.
Amazing.
I fell off of Rifts at some point, and there's a Rifts Canada and then Free Quebec.
So excellent.
Because
Quebec.
he knows one thing about
Basically.
everything. Like, so this is one thing that is also a very early instructive lesson to me in like world building and storytelling. In the first Rifts book, he has this this world overview section where he uses this character named Erin Tarn, who looks like B. Arthur, to explain like what the world is like. And she hasn't seen a lot of the world, so she doesn't know. And that was sort of like a cool thing, right? Of like, you have this world where there's rumors of what's going on, but there's no like telecom system. So how do you actually know? And you could go there and have an adventure, and what would it be like? And then he was like, okay, I'm going to spend the next 15 years just putting out books that explain every single fucking like corner of the world, except it's exactly the first draft thing of like, oh, Japan. Oh, okay. They have like robot samurai, robot dragon. Canada, Quebec. They're separatists. They want to separate. They're separate. Okay. So they separate from the coalition states.
See, Mexico, vampires.
Mexico, vampires, obviously. I saw it.
Here's a troublesome question.
John Carpenter's vampires.
A very troublesome question.
Yeah, of course.
In the location atlas in this first main book here, all of Africa gets one sentence, and it just says, yeah, it's still the dark continent. Mm-hmm. Does Africa? Is there a Rifts Africa?
So there is a Rifts Africa, and all I remember from it is that it's mostly about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Huh. The classic African myth.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, I feel like they kind of got off easy in that respect, because when he tries to do something like actually historical, it's like in Canada, he's like, what if there was a demon beaver? Or like, he'll just hear about a myth and be like, oh, that's actually an alien or like a cyborg.
Right.
He was at least self-aware enough to know it was a trap when someone was like, hey, what class do you play in Rifts Africa? Name some classes.
Oh,
that
I
they
can
could
name some
play."
classes. I'm looking at a list right now. 9 new classes, including the powerful African medicine man, rainmaker, priest, tree people, pygmy hunter, and others.
Pygmy
Oh,
hunter.
okay, so he was not clever enough to recognize that was a trap. He went
Fucking
screaming into that
1940s
trap.
Disney cartoon.
You could be a pygmy hunter. Not a pygmy, a pygmy hunter.
I feel like being a pygmy is the more fun character class.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so the furtive pygmy is so easily forgotten, but he didn't forget to hunt them. That's for sure.
What do you do with him when you hunt? Is he like just covered in like pygmy foreheads?
No, but maybe that's not, we're not reading it right. Maybe it's pygmy hunter.
Oh, he's a hunter
You
and
are
a
both
pygmy.
of those things. Yeah.
That would feel
Can
silly.
we say that? Can we even say pygmy? Is that okay?
I don't know, but I
not gonna look it
probably
up.
wouldn't risk it if he hadn't
I
broken.
blame.
It's gonna sound
Kevin
worse
Siembieda.
if like we have Jamie beep it and we're saying what are your African character classes and one
You're
of them is
right.
beep hunter. Like that's
Yeah.
gonna sound fucked up. They're not gonna think we said pygmy.
Yeah. Okay, it's on
Jamie, if you
Wikipedia,
could go
so
ahead and
it's-
do that,
I think it's
and
fine.
actually beep all of that. We'll include this in the behind the scenes for people to know. Maybe we're not the biggest monsters.
Yeah, like a small percentage of people.
Don't do that, Jamie. God damn it. I liked the idea of having, I don't know, like a limited perspective character introduce the world in the first one. Because I thought it was very interesting that, you already mentioned it, that like, she was like, Mexico is a place of vampires. Now let's talk about Michigan, because I know a lot about Michigan. There's probably vampires in Mexico. Fucking, we don't go there. We don't know.
Yeah.
Just like her neighborhood, but like super detailed in her neighborhood.
Right. Yeah, the Midwest is like completely filled out. And he almost certainly did to see From Dusk Till Dawn when he was writing this. And as I've gotten older, I've realized like how much of the stuff that I thought was like an interesting idea is just stolen from somewhere.
Yep.
Like Craig Siembieda, yeah. Kevin Siembieda is a Craig Stormont of Blue Comet Press, except somewhat more successful. Like he kept this business going. I think it still exists, which is crazy. But he is that same kind of maniac where like in all of the intros to his books, he has kind of like a strange rant.
These are fascinating.
Including one where he blames the first writer of the book for it not being good enough.
Yeah.
And names him and then says, I had to fix it all. Like, which is insane.
Is that for RIFTS Russia?
Yes.
I loved that one. Sean, go ahead, but I want to delve into that one.
Okay. Well, I think the thing that I liked about that is like once he broke the seal on complaining about scheduling, like other shit came up. He's like, God, this fucking guy gave me this manuscript that was so terrible. And also like my power went out for a few days and like, oh, that didn't help. It's like, why? This is in like a book that like a young child will treasure forever. And there's just a full page of it
Right.
dedicated to this guy like fucking bitching and moaning.
Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit from that.
Please.
I have
Please.
that there. When freelance writer Kevin Kruger first suggested the idea of a book on RIFTS Russia, I figured, sure, why not? I didn't have concrete plans for that part of the world and thought it would be exotic enough to make a wonderful addition to the RIFTS megaverse.
Hold on. Both words of those, all rights reserved. Riffs,
Yeah.
all rights reserved. Megaverse, all rights reserved.
Gotta lock that down. Megaverse especially. If done right, it would serve as a linchpin to the new German Republic and the rest of Europe, as well as the Orient.
We'll talk about the China book.
They already know what it is. Fucking long dragon.
Yeah, you already know.
Kung fu.
But his rant in that book is really something too. So yeah, sorry.
I
keep going.
love that he thinks he has to like have a fantasy manual for a place before he can conquer the nearby places. Like we don't understand until we get the new German Republic nailed down. I have that idea. And here's the truly crazy part that already a maniac says. He says, I approved the project, commissioned a cover painting, and started advertising its release. You'd think I'd know better by now, advertising a book before seeing the finished manuscript. Yes, I fucking would think that.
Right.
That's completely crazy. He's acting like, what? Who could have foreseen I would have stumbled into this? I mean, maybe I should have known. You started advertising? Like somebody came up to you and said, I think I might like to write this. And you said, cool, I'm going to start advertising it now. And I hope it's fucking good when you come back.
How could it not be?
Because if it's bad, I've completely screwed myself.
He knows 4 things about Russia. The beet soup, communism.
He spends like the next, I don't know, 6 paragraphs just talking about like how much this guy sucked, how much the book sucked, and then how much like work he had to do to fix this book. And again, This is why you don't say, sounds good, I'll publish that, and then start advertising it. And then be surprised when they turn in, oh, I thought you were a good writer. Whoops. That is on you. That is 100% on you. It's crazy that you thought it might not be on you.
It's the kind of thing you would like maybe burden a close friend with. You're like, can I talk about work for a second? Oh, this guy gave me like, but to type it all out and to publish it forever in the start of a book that has nothing to do with you. Like, who gives a shit about you is what every single person who saw this said.
And I think this was for RIFTS Russia, right? This was this was in RIFTS Russia. So this is how you start your book. And you're like, can't wait to have a grand adventure here in this book that sucks. Thanks for setting the stage. Can't wait to make a character and live in this world.
Right. Yeah. The cover of RIFTS Russia. There's 2 Russia books. There's Mystic Russia, which is like witches and shit, and then there's just armies of warlords of Russia, and it's just like a giant robot holding a hammer and sickle because that's all he knows about Russia.
Of course.
I'm just so like literally first idea for all of these. Like the Australia book is a guy riding a kangaroo. The Canada book is a guy who looks like a G.I. Joe in like with a maple leaf on his armor in like the fucking Arctic.
Fighting mechanical beaver?
Probably. Okay, the China book is, I don't even know. It's a guy summoning a fucking dragon. And like his rant, or not rant, but his like essay at the beginning of the China book is really good too. Because he basically says like, yeah, so I don't know. We're trying to get like the vibes of China. Like, we're not really concerned about like being, you know how you have like an idea of what China is? Like, that's what I had when I was doing this. So like, you know, and also I know that they're like trying to like standardize the language with pinyin, but like, I don't want to call it Beijing. I'm going to call it Peking because that's how I know it. So just, I don't know. No disrespect though.
I think I liked this one maybe the best because it's pretty clear someone gave him some notes and he's like passive aggressively responding to those notes. It's like, you know, maybe I'm a little culturally insensitive.
Yeah, this is clearly a response to somebody that's like, it's like, that's not how you spell that Chinese word. And he's like, oh, really? Oh, is that not how you spell it? Well, sorry, I made a fantasy game where that is how you fucking spell it, all right?
In Rift's Earth, that's actually is how you spell it. And the other one that's really good is there's a book. So there's an Old West or New West book, which is just cowboys with lasers. And then there's Spirit West, which is Indians with lasers.
Yeah.
And his opening for that is like, he's like, it's 1997. I can still get away with this, right? Like, that's, it's fine. I don't know. It's like people are gonna, they're all just basically like the same type of guy, right?
We should read one of them. Well, let's read this one.
Okay.
we summed up the China one. I'm gonna skip some of the words in this one.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
But it's titled A Few Words from, how do you pronounce his name? Siembieda?
Siembieda. I've never been quite sure, though.
A few words from Siembieda. Of course, this is a fictional book set in the fantastic science fantasy setting of Rift's Earth. Not only have we homogenized a number of different Native American cultures and beliefs, we have extrapolated, twisted, and warped many aspects of those beliefs. Myths, magic. Yeah, you sure have. So while the culture, beliefs, and myths of the Native American people were a source of inspiration, the material presented here is not intended to be a true or accurate portrayal of the people or their culture. Besides, no matter how many books we may have read as part of our research, we don't pretend to be experts. This is a work of fiction, science fiction and fantasy at that. So nobody can blame me for anything, for all of the stuff I'm about to say. Like, that's a wonderful preface.
Let me keep reading. It gets pretty crazy. He goes, we hope none of the material in this book is offensive to Native Americans. Furthermore, we hope the term Indian used in this book and others is not offensive. It's meant as a familiar, general, descriptive term. So come on, we're good. We're all good friends here, right? I just... like the idea of being like, to even think about this and to have done what you've done and then to come in and apologize is so fucking, I don't know, like mealy-mouthed and crazy. Like, just fucking own it. You fucking got magic Indians because it's set in New Mexico or whatever. Like, who would fucking have a problem with that? And then you've invented this person that has a problem with that, and then you've done nothing to placate them. You're like, God, come on, fucking get over it, dickhead. You're like, no, you made that guy up. Fucking.
I love that he starts there Indian, which is, at least in my experience, what often people of Native American descent prefer to be called. They don't like to be called American at all, if possible. And he's like, oh, I hope that one's okay. Anyway, here are all the other words I would also like to... Like, no, that one was okay. But that doesn't mean that all the rest are.
Right. It's really fine as long as you're not being an asshole. You're being a total asshole.
Because then he says a bunch of words you might use for Indian people that I am not going to repeat here. But he's like, we also used this word, this word, this word, and this word to describe you. Like, no, you can't do the, we hope Indian is okay because we also said every other slur we know.
Yeah. Hey, if Indian's not all right, we're in a lot of trouble, okay?
And then after the list of slurs, he says, no disrespect is intended in the words or portrayal of any people or in culture. Enjoy. Just straight a list of slurs and then enjoy.
Right. This is like contemporaneous with like the White Wolf games, like World of Darkness. And those games were also doing just like really crazy like shit that they've had to like step away from in the last few years, because it was just like, it was just corny too. It wasn't even like really offensive. It was just like, really? This is what you think? But like they weren't out here like putting disclaimers at the front of their books. And he's just like, I am going to do it. And I am going to explain that I did it, but I'm not going to change it. Like,
the
I'm
disclaimer
good, right?
rants were so funny. If these are like, if these paint a picture, it seems like it's all in response to one review, which was a positive review. Like he kicks it off by saying like, where is it? Yet, I guess the RIFTS source book is a success. Yet, in a recent, mostly positive review, the book was criticized for too much specific detail, attention to details, and too much emphasis on the military combat machines and not enough new world information. It's just frustrating, and since I'm the author and the publisher, I can get stuff off my chest by publishing it in my books, so I'm gonna. Like,
Okay, I think one of them, maybe the most telling, was from the desk of Kevin Siembieda. Are there 30,000 to 50,000 people reading the Rifter trademark? So this, I guess, was a magazine about
It
Rifts.
was, yeah. It was like a quarterly magazine.
And I don't think it had a very good, like, readership. So it looks like they sell about 8,000 copies, which, whatever, that's fine, plenty. But then he decided that wasn't enough people. That wasn't important enough. So he's decided 3 to 5 people actually read each magazine, because the kid gets the magazine and gives it to his friend. And that's not impossible. But it's weird for anyone's common sense to think that happens to every issue out there. So now he's taken this, like, let's just say 3 to 5 people. And then he's like added to it to now he's at 50,000 readers for every issue of a magazine that sells 8,000 copies. And it takes him a full page in his own, and again, this is in a book, a source book for children to, I don't know. It's very telling that this guy's ego would even allow this.
I love that he takes through, and you say 3 to 5, everybody assumes that means like a range. And what he takes that as is a logical step.
Yes.
He says like, well, we'll start with 3 and then it goes to 5. Because his exact text here is, so if 10,000 copies is the average, and if 3 people actually read every copy sold, that means 30,000 Palladium fans are enjoying every issue. 50,000 if 5 people read every issue. Way cool. Like, he's so proud. Like, we got it up 20,000 just like that.
He's convinced himself by the end of the paragraph.
It's weird he didn't consider the numbers 0, 1, and 2 is all. Because those are numbers.
Right.
There's one where he like says goodbye to the ninja. This is very good. Merritt put all this supplemental material together. There's one where they lose the license for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which at no point in human history was a good business decision.
And he's like, he complains about how the cartoon becoming successful killed the property as a serious franchise for adults.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, it's all kidified now. It's not like the gritty, hard-hitting comics anymore.
I really want to read that one too. I know we're reading all of these, but I just find it very special to access a maniac in their own words. Like when you give them an editorial.
Yeah. Like I feel like so many industries have moved so far away from this being a possibility. Like unless it's like some tiny self-published indie game, you don't open a role-playing game anymore and have like the lunatic who made it telling you about how his water heater broke and that's why it's late.
In general, imagine opening a tabletop role-playing game to an editorial. Like, what?
Right.
Who are you?
It doesn't happen anymore.
Before we learn how to make a character, let me read the essay "My Bitch Wife" by Gary Gygax.
That's what this is. All right, here's this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. On the other hand, the successful mass marketing, in scare quotes, killed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the comic book and role-playing game markets where they first took off. Weird, but true. You see, the Turtles were what I refer to as kidified. The once gritty, satirical, hard-hitting Turtles, really, became cuddly, fun-loving, pizza-swirling heroes to little kids ages 3 to 10. They joined the ranks of Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and the Smurfs. The Smurfs is bolded and italicized.
Okay, yeah, that brings up something I need to mention after you're done with this.
While this made them a viable mass-market property, it hurt them in the small, specialized market of role-playing. Basically, no self-respecting teenager or preteen wanted anything to do with the Ninja Turtles. Again, not my experience. Why? Because they had become little kid stuff. It didn't matter that the role-playing game and comic book was the same gritty, butt-kicking, imaginative, fun game it had always been. The Turtles were taboo to the teen market. Role-playing sales plummeted overnight. And then he proceeds to list the exact numbers of his failures, from 4,000 plus copies a month to 1,200. That's a Craig Stormont thing that I love when he will list the numerical failures that he's had. Like, you can actually see how bad I am at business. Look at this.
Let me explain to you exactly how bad I am.
Just in case any investors are reading this and maybe want to think about it, fucking don't.
This role-playing system that I own became a household name overnight, and I somehow turned that into a failure.
Into negative 2,800 copies overnight. That's what the kids did to me.
So the italics bolding reminds me of something that I really do need to mention, which is for the first few years of Palladium, definitely well into Rifts existing, they were just doing layouts analog. They weren't using digital word processors or anything. It was just literally copying and pasting things. Mm-hmm. So that's why the book looks completely insane. And also I think it was basically 90% Kevin Siembieda doing it. But another quirk that he has is his use of exclamation marks and bolding and italics is just really crazy. He never had an English teacher tell him you don't need to use 3 exclamation marks when you're talking about how much experience someone gets for killing a dog man with a laser. It's just reading
Hard
this book
disagree.
is yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's
that's what it's for.
Minimum 5.
Right? But reading this book is the voice of this man comes through so strongly because it's written in this really strange semi-conversational way with all of this bizarre punctuation. And all of them are like this because he did this thing where even when someone else had the idea and wrote part of it, he would go through and rewrite everything and then also put his name on the cover. So again, very much like a Craig Stormont type.
That's an exact classic Stormont move. They're the same. There's a genre list of maniacs. They're the same maniac.
Yeah, absolutely.
They would have either gotten along so well at a convention, or that would have been just an instant fist fight. It would have been cops separating them. Then they'd still trying to brawl all the way home.
Yeah, it is a fiercely territorial maniac. Like a spider. Only one kind of maniac
can be allowed at this convention. Yes, this is such a good tactic for really understanding a maniac. There's so much here to just say, here, give me a source book. It's as near as I've seen to a map complete with a legend and everything of a mind shattering. It's just please see the appendices for all of the ways I'm going completely fucking insane right now. You're okay, I guess I will try to unravel that. One of my favorite things, if you want to get a sense of a role-playing game system, go to their abilities or their magic. and like start reading what they put in there, because everybody will have the normal. They're like, I'm going to turn invisible, I'm going to shoot a fireball, I'm going to fly, but then they're going to realize I have to do my own things too. So what do I want to be able to do? And the spell manual in this source book is really something special. I've got a brief list here. I'm just going to read a few of them.
Yeah, what are your faves?
I liked Carpet of Adhesion.
Yes.
Sticky carpet.
Fucking classic. Just giant flypaper spell. That's completely overpowered because there's like no real way to get out of it effectively. So like, also, yeah, none of this book is balanced. Like you can be Indiana Jones, like a normal guy who reads books because most people can't read, or like an adult dragon who just can crush people's minds.
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem with like putting everything in there, is that somebody will just be like, okay, I'm going to be the giant robot. Like, I don't want to be the guy who's good at poetry.
It was like known as like the power gaming RPG for that reason. And like, that's why the audience was mostly like 10-year-olds, because they wanted to just build like an unkillable monster character, which is what I did.
Sure.
But please tell me the rest of your favorite spells.
I liked Heavy Breathing. Heavy Breathing was great.
I don't need a spell for that.
That's the mage is able to conjure a mysterious, frightful sound of heavy, labored breathing, as if something invisible was lurking about. So you tend to think like, oh, it can't mean exactly what it sounds like. No, it's just pervert breathing that you can summon at will.
I feel like any other game system would have said ventriloquism, like your voice throw or something, and then from there the player would decide on heavy breathing or a distress call, something, that would be their...
No. Only for perverts.
Only a pervert.
Only for perverts.
Hot breath in your ear.
You see, that's because if you want to actually talk or send some sort of message, you would use Magic Pigeon. That's my other favorite spell.
Yeah.
Of course, Magic Pigeon.
What I loved, like I said earlier, I did actually play this a little bit. Mostly we made characters with my college friends and then laughed about how stupid the books were. But I liked Glitter Boy because his ability, it was like a super mech armor suit. But his ability was he was like so shiny that lasers couldn't hurt him, which is such a like Final Fantasy III ability for your armor. But like, try to imagine that, like someone shoots you with a fucking laser cannon that like cuts things in half, it vaporizes things, and it's like, oh no, I hit a disco ball. It's so funny.
So it would refract in every direction.
Yeah, everything's dead for 1,000,000 miles.
That is a great character. I liked Fingers of the Wind. Fingers of the Wind was
You're
a
not even
good
talking
spell.
about spells anymore. That's just stuff you get up to.
Fingers of the Wind are exactly what they sound like. You can poke. It specifies that you can poke or massage with Fingers of the Wind. So more
What?
more
You can
pervert
use
shit.
your mana to do that. Or cast a fireball.
I didn't look into how exclusive the abilities are and which slot, but hopefully you can make just a pervert mage, though it's just all right, well, everybody knows what you're going to do, Lester. That's right, I cast Heavy Breathing and Fingers of the Wind again.
Okay, so a crucial thing I should mention here is there's a character called the Techno Wizard, and instead of casting spells, they build things that do the spells, but only when I think only wizards can use them. But so you could build a sex toy that casts Fingers of the Wind and Heavy Breathing.
Done.
Sort of everything is in here, but obviously a ton of stuff is not in here. Like, I don't know if there was a lightning bolt spell, so you're like, you didn't do lightning bolt, but you did sex toy that casts magic wind fingers? Like, what you're doing by including quote unquote everything is telling us so much about you.
Fingers of the Wind could have been anything, and it was Fingers of the Wind.
Same with Magic Pigeon. Could have been anything, and you're like, nope. It says right here in the spell, it's just a normal ass pigeon that you can conjure up. It obeys pigeon law in all respects. What a precious maniac. You know what? I'm gonna shift gears here. I will pay money if anybody can prove that they've played a game of RIFTS exactly how Kevin Siembieda intended it to be played. There's no way.
It's
There's
not
no
possible.
way anybody has
No.
ever done that.
That became apparent pretty quickly to me as a kid, even that as written, these rules make no sense, are needlessly complicated, and not fun. Like combat, like I mean that's in D&D and stuff. Like combat takes the longest because that's what the game is built around. But in Rifts, like a single round of combat can take like upwards of 6 hours. It's just like because you're doing all kinds of shit. It's like D&D is like, oh, I attack. Oh, do you hit the AC? No, it's like abstracted, right?
Right.
Like AC incorporates like your ability to dodge or like how thick your armor is. In Rifts, it's like, okay, I rolled a hit. Then if it's a hit, then they can like parry or dodge or like roll with the punch or like counterattack or like do like a million different things.
Finger it.
And
roll the finger it.
Roll the finger the wind.
damage.
Yeah. And it's just, it's really, really bad. I don't know. I think we were simplifying it pretty quickly on, like pretty early on, because it was just like, oh, this is not good. It's bad.
we have to live our lives. This is the most free time we will ever have.
I guess I don't remember it being clear, like what the world used for money and stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
Like it was just kind of everything. Like a dinosaur just came out of the ground, and that's what New York is now. And you're like, okay, so can I buy a magic potion there, or
right? They just kind of like abstract it. They just say like, oh, it's credits, and like so there are like governments, right? Like there are like little like city states ruled by warlords and stuff. But then the main
mostly Canadian. The main government is the coalition states, who are just clearly like Nazis. Like they're like human supremacists. Like they're like the Empire in Star Wars. They're Nazis. They want to kill all magic users and aliens and whatever. And he spends a lot of time in the main book explaining that, like, okay, but actually though, like, they're not all evil, right? Like, so a lot of these guys who wear skull armor and have skulls all over them and have guns that shoot people, like,
they make some good points.
They're just following orders, you know? Like, it's fine.
I mean, there's probably a reason that in Rifts Russia, he's like, if done right, it would serve as a linchpin to the new German Republic.
Right.
Huh, would it? Is that what the important bit is?
What's that all about?
Yeah, that's the goal, huh? We got to get there real quick.
Oh, everyone's going to know this about this maniac, but there's a long series of these things that you put together that we haven't talked about yet, where someone wrote in to complain that, hey, this fucking guy keeps telling me that it's not real. Because obviously Kevin was insecure about, like, at the time, maybe 10 years before this, everyone was really worried about, like, the demonic nature of role-playing games. So he's like, whenever he has a spell, he's like, okay, but remember, this is just a game. The spells aren't real. Don't even worry about it. And so someone wrote in, it's like, dude, we fucking know they're not real. And okay, here's his exact words. I would concur with that sentiment if it were the case, but it is not. As far as I can recall, there is only our standard page 1 warning about violence and magic in the Rift sourcebook number 1. Okay. And then, over the course of the next several paragraphs, he explains over and over that magic is not real, and it's okay for him to say, as often as he does, that magic is not real. So he's this guy that throws every argument against the wall to see which one will stick, even though he's not arguing with anyone. And so he'll contradict himself many times over the course of one essay, again, to one stupid asshole no one knows about. Nobody cares about any of this.
I like that Merritt included, like, the other 15 times he actually did say it wasn't real.
Right.
It's like, I only said that once. No. You said you spent like 1,000 words saying that in 8 different books.
And maybe I did, but if so, that's okay.
Yeah.
And if it isn't, fuck you. And if that's not okay, here's all the names I have for the natives.
There is a book, I forget which one it is, but where he expands on the disclaimer to be like, hey, you guys see that movie, The Program, you know, with James Caan and Omar Epps? Like, The Program, you know how they lie down in the middle of the road in the one part to prove that they're brave? Some kid did that and died. And that's why I say that Rifts is not real, okay? Okay? It's like, I had never heard of that movie before, and I still have never seen it, but it apparently made a very big impact on him.
It was a pretty big news story, whether it was real or not. Like, most people's understanding of that movie was that's the movie where they lay down on the road and then someone really did it and died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but one of them wasn't a pack of dogs. A pack of, like, sentient dog people. Like, there's a point at which, like, all right, I can't try most of this. What am I going to try exactly from
get
this?
Get some cans drilled into your skull and get psychic powers. You could do that.
I mean, I guess I could try heavy breathing. I could call somebody up and try heavy breathing.
Yeah, give it a try. I'll give you my phone number after the podcast.
Maybe me and my friends can try Fingers of the Wind together just to figure some things out, you know? But a lot of this is like open your dick and find a laser. You're like, no, I can't. I just can't do that.
I think there is a robot. I don't know if it's in the main book or not, but there is a robot that has a dick laser.
Obviously.
For sure.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't know that for a fact, but I assumed it was true.
I have a dick pigeon. I don't know, just for the record.
Oh, sweet.
So some of it is real. Kevin's right. Some of it is real.
The dick pigeon parts are based on fact. A very complicated, a long story we don't need to get into. I think something amazing happens towards the end of this source book, which is, again, the character creation is page 8 to 127. And then there's a little break for a complete atlas of the world, but not the African parts.
Right, that gets one sentence. Yeah.
And then we jump back into character creation for like 20 more pages. And then we do some supplemental art, and then we talk about the time before Rifts, and then there's some more character creation for just like 7 pages out of nowhere. This is the craziest organization for things, but I think, like most Maniacs, and as Merritt pointed out, very Stormon-like move, by the end of the comic, by the end of the source book, they both realize, maybe this sucks. All right, maybe this sucks. Because on page 248, we finally get to the Game Masters section, which should have been page 1. Like, here's how you, the person who bought this source book. It's a pretty special. I'm just going to read some of the Game Masters section. During playtests, some players initially seemed a bit disgruntled over the facts that first, there seemed to be too many good characters to choose from. Can there be such a thing? Yeah, that's the fake one. And second, that character generation took between 20 minutes to an hour. Really, page 8 to 127 took them 20 minutes to an hour. No, they did grumble. They were disgruntled. He says they also grumbled about what seemed to be a great number of skills and, in some cases, abilities. That was called preparing for the game. So this is the Game Master section. He's making the first paragraph is, players hate this, but that's a little thing I like to call the game.
It is the game. No one has ever gotten past character creation in this game.
Right.
And it's fine. It's fun.
Yeah, so I'm actually thinking about it now, and I'm realizing I didn't make my character that I played in Rifts. My friend's older brother did. And that character was actually not even from Rifts. Because the big thing about Rifts was like, and the one thing I will say for Kevin Siembieda is like, when every other company was like, okay, we're doing a new edition of our game, it's completely different, you have to buy this new book. He was like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to change the rules ever. What I'm going to do is sell 10 million source books, like about the different parts of the world. So I guess kind of principled, but it was a bad system to begin with. So terrible idea.
Why would you change the rules when they don't work? When it's every rule?
Exactly. They already don't work. What are they going to do? Not work? No, they don't work. So, but you could also bring characters because the Rifts, you use the same system and there's a in-world reason, right? There's portals to every fucking dimension in the Megaverse TM. So you could use characters from their other games like Ninjas and Super Spies or Heroes Unlimited, which is their superhero game. And my character was from the superhero game. But then later went to Atlantis and got giant cool bat wings and became Mega Damage and was the greatest psychic in the world and had a giant flying pyramid. And it was pretty cool. I don't know. It was like pretty cool, I think.
Not bad.
But yeah, I didn't make the character. Someone else did. So I don't think anyone has ever actually gotten past that.
Yeah, nobody's played this how he intended it. If even he knew what that was. Like, I bet if you asked him right now if he's still alive, he's not still alive.
He is.
Is he? This seems like the guy that shouldn't still be alive. Like,
if I look it up and he's dead, I'll be really sad, honestly.
This just reads like a heart attack, like an early heart attack to me.
No, he's alive. He's only... Wait, do you know how old he is?
How old is he?
Guess.
69.
Yeah.
Is that exactly right?
Yes.
I don't know what that means. It means something.
I really like how you said, yeah.
Yeah, but every good idea he's ever had, 95% of them I feel confident in saying were stolen from other things. Like there's another game called Nightbane, which was initially called Night Spawn before Todd McFarlane sued.
No.
They changed it to Nightbane, but it's just a ripoff of that movie. What is that night where they're monster people and he goes
Nightbreed?
to live with the monster people? Nightbreed. It's just Nightbreed.
Wow.
But when I was a kid, I was like, this is so cool. And then I saw Nightbreed and was like, hey, hold on.
Hey, this is so cool.
He made Nightspawn based on Nightbreed. And then Todd McFarlane said, hey, no, you're copying my thing. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm copying Nightbreed, dumbass.
Right.
And then Todd McFarlane was like, oh, fuck, somebody's going to sue me. Oh, I just realized I also don't have any ideas. There's an implied horniness here that kind of syncs with Nightbreed, too. There's just there's a lot. There's a lot you can tell about that's not necessarily in the source book, but you can just tell about the guy.
I always thought Rifts was weirdly not horny. Like, I remember joking with my friends in college, like, how do any of these people fuck? Like, everyone's sealed into suits or have, like, the, like, from their torso down as robot. I'm like, nobody in this entire universe can fuck.
Well, hold on. I didn't say erotic. I said horny. It's very, very horny.
You're right.
And
There's
that
a big
can be a
difference.
consequence of having your dick sealed up in a mega glitter boy suit.
That's what he
So
said.
you're like,
Yeah.
I can't get to it.
But-
Lasers can't penetrate to get me out of this.
I do want to point out for people who have not seen it, the cover of the book is like, it's a van painting from a van, on a van in like the 9th dimension. It's a giant monster covered in slime with like a bunch of tentacles whose lower half is a giant like floating platform. And there are 3 women wearing like bathing suits or like body suits with like sunglasses and lasers. And like this cover made this book like very like almost like taboo in the 90s. Like it was just like, I mean, if you're like, 8 to 10 years old, it was like, should you have this? Like, why is there so much ass on the cover of this game? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, there's a lot. There are tentacle mechanics in this. We know.
Right.
We
Right.
know what you're doing.
I don't know. Maybe I had too many Conan books and Mars books, but it just, that seemed like background noise. Like everyone's like, ooh, look at this cover. I'm like, yeah, that's the cover of everything. Everything looks like that.
Right. But yeah, no one fucks in it. And also like, I don't think really, even though there are rules for drug addiction in the first book, those are just copied and pasted from some other game. And no one does drugs either. Like there's no discussion of drugs. There's no discussion of sex. It is very like sexless, like nerd bullshit. Like this, the people who were fucking were playing like Vampire the Masquerade, I guess, or thinking that they were fucking, or I don't know. But like no one who's playing Rifts was like.
Can we explore the other option that they were not playing tabletop role-playing games at all? That there was not one for people who fuck.
Is that a thing? I mean,
People did that? Not play role-playing games?
wow.
I appreciate this as an artifact, and I can understand how this like started you off on your journey into oh no, people make these things and there can be something very, very wrong with them. Because this is so detailed and so thorough of like a map to psychosis that it could be a valuable service to psychology. Like this is how psychological papers should be written, right? Like you just sit a maniac down and be like, hey, explain to me, I mean everything about how you think the world works, and then all the doctors are going to get together and we're going to play it, and maybe we're going to fix you.
Is that the end game of this? Is that he wants someone to play it and fix him?
I think so. I think if anybody ever actually plays this the way that he intended, they will be able to say, oh, I know what medication you need to go on. It's just a big puzzle.
God, we didn't even talk about the crisis of treachery. Go read the article that I wrote if you want to hear about the crisis of treachery when he's had to sell off all of his Star Wars figures.
Was that part of the game? Do you have to sell off all your Star Wars figures in the game? Like it gets really sad?
Yeah.
His wife leaves him and he puts it in the game? Oh, I hope so. I hope there's source books about the divorce.
Rifts, the Sundering.
Einstein, 100, Frankfurt. Einstein, 100, Frankfurt. Unser Podcast genau. Und mit maximalem Schau. Dogg Frankfurt Podcast. Korrekt. Ja. Der Kraft ist nicht gratis, nicht ohne. Schick die in die Hundezone. 4 eine Stunde.